Okay, so hi. Sorry. Let me move all this stuff. I'm trying to show you the materials I'm using. So this is a 4-way cotton yarn. I have scissors. I have a large eye sewing needle for the yarn. I have 2 hook sizes, a 3.5mm and a 4.5mm. This is the one we're starting with. The 3.5 is the one we're beginning with, and then we'll later switch to a 4.5mm hook for the cross single crochet section. I have some extra things that I thought would be cute to add. So I have these with my name on them. I'll put a link to the shop. It's a woodworking shop. They do custom, designs right there. And I may use these tags. I got these off Temu or Temu. So I might use these or these. It depends on how I feel. But these are really cute little, they're like vinyl. They're not leather, but they are faux leather. They kind of look like leather. They feel like that faux leather. And then to attach these things, I'm going to be using a little smaller needle than the large eye needle, because this one is so much bigger, it stretches the things out. Put that away for now, to the side. I also have these clips. I purchased these clips. They're metallic. They are metallic. They're magnetic, and they help with the closure of the actual item. So they're 2 different colors. They have some that are gunmetal, and these are silver and gold, obviously. And I needed 2 stitch markers, and this is for the actual in the round portion of the crocheting, and this is also for the part where I'm crocheting the cross single crochet, just to demonstrate it better for you guys. So I have some stitch markers, and then I have a threaded up needle that I may use, may not use, depending on if this one works, then I won't need to use this one. And I have some thread, discolored thread. I need to grab my other thread. So yeah, I'm gonna move all these extra things aside for right now, and then I'm going to show you guys how to do the pattern. I will have a written pattern on my blog for this, along with the video, so that you guys can follow along there if you rather a written pattern. And then I'll put the written pattern without the ads on my Ravelry, so you guys can have 2 options, one with, one without. If you want to support me by purchasing it, that would be awesome. Not necessary, but very nice, very welcomed. Okay, so I am going to start with a slip knot, and I'm going to chain 34, and we'll be working in the round. So I'm gonna chain 34, 31, 32, 33, 34. Let me count my stitches. So that's 34. Okay, so I am going to join with a slip stitch, and I'm going to make sure that my stitches are lining up. So what I do is I pinch right here, and then I run my hand along like that, so that I know that each stitch is facing the same direction. And then I take it and I turn it, and I confidently slip stitch into that first stitch, because I know that if I did it like that, that it's not going to be tangled up. and then I test it, make sure that I can line them up like this, and if they are facing the same way, I did it correctly. Alright, so to begin, that is my foundation. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to use a stitch marker to mark off the first part of that stitch like that, because we're going to crochet in the round, and I want to make sure that I don't lose that stitch, even though it's, you know, it looks the same, you know, with the chain 1 you can kind of distinguish it. I don't know what I was trying to say there, don't mind me. Anyways, so we're gonna just single crochet into each stitch around, and we're gonna do this 8 rows or 8 rounds. We're gonna do a single crochet into the 34 stitches around for 8 rounds. So I don't know, what do you guys like? You can tell me in the comments. Do you like crocheting with the person and doing each round together, or do you like to just have me skip ahead and you go watch something else while you crochet in the round for 8 rounds? What do you guys prefer? Because I like to actually just leave and go like watch something else and come back to the video. So if you want to save me in a playlist, that would be so crazy. I'm in your playlist? Wow. I don't know what that was. That's so weird. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to just meet back up with you guys when you have 8 rounds of this single crochet done. That way you guys can go watch your favorite video and come back to me later. Okay, see you in 8 rounds. So, hello, I am back. This is 8 rows of 8 rounds, I should say, of single crochet. Now we're going to switch to working in rows. And I am going to move my stitch marker up just to mark the first stitch. We're just going to keep working across. And I'm going to work, sorry, I was off camera. So I'm going to work 18 single crochet across, and then we're gonna just do this in rows. So let me show you what I mean. So for row 9, we're gonna single crochet 18. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright, so that should be 18. Make sure you go and count it. Yeah, so that's 18. Okay, so rows 10 through 25, we're going to be repeating this. Chain 1, turn the work, and single crochet into 18 stitches in each of these 18 stitches across, and we're just gonna repeat that. Chain 1, turn the work, single crochet into these 18 stitches. Ugh, it's so weird crocheting like this. This is not my normal crocheting. So yeah, I'm just going to work on this off camera. So basically for that many rows, so till 25, you're going to be working into these 18 stitches. I believe the first stitch is the 18th. Let me count them. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So yeah, we have 18 stitches, and we're just going to repeat that until we have 25. Right, so continue working on this until you have 25. Okay, so this is me at row 25. If you count from the base, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, you'll have 25. And this is what it looks like in the front. So later on, like I've said, we're going to sew this seam closed so we have a pocket for our cards. This is the middle section, and now we're going to work another pocket for the cards. So what we're going to do is, this is 18 and we need to have 34 stitches, so we are going to be chaining 16. So chain 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Make sure it's correct amount. Yeah, that's 16. And then we're going to make sure that it's not twisted in on itself. So make sure this is not a twisted chain. And we're going to join at the top of the other side with a single crochet. So I'm just gonna single crochet right into there, and I'm going to bring my stitch marker back. I'm going to take another stitch marker and mark this first stitch. So this is what I would consider the beginning of 26, and we're just gonna single crochet into each stitch around and into the 16 chains, and that's the complete row of 26. But I'm putting a stitch marker here to just mark this off. So we already started our first single crochet right here. Let me zoom in. That's too close. So yeah, we have our first single crochet right here. We're just going to continue single crocheting and then crochet into those chains, and we should have 34 stitches when we finish this round. And basically what we're doing is we're going to continue single crocheting in the round until we have a total of 8 rows or rounds. So this is going to be the first round of the in the round portion, kind of like what we did on the bottom. So I'm getting to the chains, so it did want to go into the chain but into the little V's. So I'm going to just do like that, and we're just single crocheting into these 16 chain stitches like so, like that. Man, that is not like that. I keep missing it. Like I said earlier when I started this yarn is very splitty for me. and that's why I wanted to go down this to this hook size to get these stitches tight. Keep it tight, keep it right. Oh my god, why me? I'm just gonna do this with you guys because the next 7 rows or rounds I'm just gonna have you guys do them by yourselves after I show you what I'm talking about. So this is the last chain of the chain 16 right here. And then we're at the stitch marker. We mark that, but this is the stitch right here. So I'm just gonna take this out and we're gonna count our stitches because this should be the one that was marked, but it wasn't. Let me count back. So yeah, this is 34 stitches, and let me zoom out like that. Basically, you're gonna want to keep reattaching your stitch marker because we're going to work this up until we have a total of 8, 8 rounds in the round. So from rounds, let's see, from 26 to 30 to 33, we're going to work up, and then row 33 I will show you it'll be different. On row 33 we're going to work an extra 2 stitches at the end because we're going to clean the edge up. But when we get to row 33 I'll meet back up with you and then I'll show you what I'm talking about, and I'll put all this information on the screen so that you know what to do. So yeah, so just continue working this pattern, working in the round. So let me show you what I mean. I moved my stitch marker. We're just gonna go into the next single crochet and we're gonna single crochet into each stitch around, and we'll be repeating this for until round 33, and then like I said, we'll have 8 of them, 8 rounds in the round. Does that make sense? I'm kind of like trying to make sense, but I hope that makes sense. So I will show you what I'm talking about when I complete it, and I'll write it on the screen for you guys. So I'll meet back up with you when you have a total of 8 rounds, and we're gonna work this 7 more times. Okay, so hello, we are back, and here's what the piece looks like. So this is row 33 or round 33, and we have 2 pockets, and this section that we worked in rows that we will be crocheting 2 additional stitches to clean the edge up. So that would be 2 additional stitches after the stitch marker. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for row 33. I'm just gonna keep the stitch marker here and just crochet around it. So I'm gonna do 1 single crochet, and then I'm gonna work into the next single crochet, and I should have taken this stitch marker off because that looks crazy. But yeah, so now the edge is cleaned up. So like, let me take them out. I'm gonna take these 2, 1, 2. This is where the rows or the round stopped, right here. And I'm gonna single crochet 2 additional stitches right there. So that way when we lay it like this, we are gonna be working on the back side. So what I'm gonna do right now is, this is what the piece looks like, right? I'm gonna change my hook size. We're gonna go up to the 4.5 millimeter hook. So this is my 33rd row right here. And what I'm going to do is use my stitch marker to kind of guide me. I'm turning my work over. This is where the front of the pocket is. I'm turning it over, and I'm going to count 18 stitches from this stitch here. So I'm going to count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and then 18 is right here. And I'm going to mark my 18th stitch off so that way I know where it is when I'm going around. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to build up the crossed single crochets, and like I said, I jumped up a hook size to a 4.5 millimeter hook to do this because the stitch is actually very tight. We're single crocheting 2 together, so the stitch kind of gets a little tight there. So to begin the stitch, when I'm working it like this, I'm going to chain 2, and I'm taking this stitch marker from down here. I'm going to mark that first chain that I made because for teaching sake I want you guys to be able to know where that stitch is located. So I'm just going to put that marker here, and this first stitch that I marked is actually considered a single crochet. I just marked my, anyways, this is a single crochet. So the stitch, the chain 2 counts as this as being the single crochet, and this is the chain 1. Now I have a tutorial on the stitch that I'm doing right now, so if you need a overview or a more in-depth look at it, I did do a more in-depth tutorial for that, but right now we're just gonna continue. So I'm doing the cross single crochet. First row will be worked in the front loop. No. Yeah. The first row will be worked in the front loop. Whoa, stutter. So I'm going to skip 1 stitch. So I'm skipping this next stitch here. Let me zoom in. There we are. So I'm skipping this stitch here, and then I'm working in the front loop of this stitch, and I'm single crocheting to grab that. I gotta go like that, use my hook. So we're single crocheting. And then we're gonna chain 1, skip this next stitch, and single crochet in the front loop of the next. And that's what we repeat across until we get to that stitch marker. So chain 1, skip, single crochet in the next. So just repeat that across. I'm going to do it with you guys since this is kind of, for me, it was the hardest part of the tutorial. Skip 1, single crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next. My yarn is splitting on me, but we've came this far already, so I'll just keep doing. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the front loop of the next. And the reason I'm single crocheting in the front loop is because this piece that I'm making is going to be folded this way, and then we're going to sew it to the other side, and that's going to create this part of the wallet where you save your money in. So the other parts for your cards. Okay, so this is the last 2 I marked the stitch off for that reason, and I'm just gonna go take that. I'm taking it out. I'm trying to do too much. I'm going to skip this stitch and then go in the front loop of the next stitch. Single crochet. And that's what it looks like in the beginning. Now we're going to chain 2. So this is the repeat for the remainder of the pattern. We will be chaining 2. Put that stitch marker right here. Mark that first stitch, counts as a single crochet. And we're turning our work. Now we are working into the chain 1 spaces for this remainder of the pattern. Chain 1 spaces being right here currently, and we will be working a single crochet 2 together over the chain 1 spaces. So we insert and we yarn over, draw up a loop, insert into the next chain 1 space, yarn over, draw up a loop, and then we draw through all 3, and then we're chaining 1, and then we're going to go back into the previous chain 1 space right here that we already worked in, draw up a loop, insert into the next chain 1 space, draw up a loop, draw through all 3, chain 1, and that is what we repeat. Insert into the previous, draw up a loop, insert into the next, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 3, chain 1, and then we're repeating that across until we get to the last one, and the last one will be worked differently than we worked in the previous ones. So I'll show you what I mean when I get there. And this gives this really nice looking, I don't know, it just looks interesting. It's an interesting design. Okay, so I'm at the chain 2 turning chain space, and I'm gonna work into that chain 2 space as if it was a chain 1, and we're drawing through, and we're gonna chain 1, and it looks like we don't have anything else left to work in, but we do. We're going to go back into that chain 2 space, drop a loop, and then we're going to go into that marked chain, and that's why I had you mark it. So we're going to go into that chain underneath both loops like that. That's kind of noticeable, or can you see that? I don't know. And we're going to drop a loop as if we're doing that single crochet 2 together. Sorry, I'm trying to find myself. We're going to draw through all 3, and that ends the row. And then I'm going to just show it to you like that. That's what it looks like. So we're moving that stitch marker so that I could place it back into the next row, and we're just repeating that. I'm going to show this to you again because row 2 repeat for row 3 looks differently, and I'm going to show you how and what I mean. So I'm going to chain 2, mark that first chain, mark that first chain right here. Sorry if you can hear the kids, they're just living their lives. I'm going to turn the work. So this is how you identify the chain 1 spaces. They kind of look like single crochets. So this is a chain 1 space, this is a chain 1 space, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then in between this is the single crochet 2 together right there. We're not working into this chain single crochet 2 together, but we are working into the thing that looks like a single crochet, but it's a chain 1 space. Okay, so that's why I prefaced that with that. So what we're doing is we already chained 2, marked our stitch, turned the work, but we're going to do what we were doing. We're inserting into that chain 1 space, drawing up a loop, And then we're going to go into the next chain one space and draw up a loop, and then pull through all three, draw through all three, chain one. We're going to go into the previous chain one space we worked in, drop a loop, insert into the next chain one space, draw up a loop, and then draw through all three and chain one. And that's what we repeat around, like across. Insert, pull up a loop, insert into the next chain one space, draw up a loop, draw through all three, chain one, and then we just keep doing that. Right there. Draw through. And then when we get to the last one, I will show you how to work that. So basically we're coming to the last two chain single crochet two togethers. This is the previous, we're inserting, drawing up. This is the chain two space. You gotta kind of push this over, but this is the space in between the chains. So we're inserting into that space, doing our single crochet two together, and then chain one, and then we're gonna repeat what we did on the other side, where we reinsert into the previous, right, and then we're inserting into this chain one space and drawing up a loop. Oops. Drawing up a loop like that into that space, and then we're gonna draw through all three, and that's what we're repeating. So I'm gonna zoom out for a sec and just pull my yarn out to hold it. So basically what we're doing is we're just repeating that, and then when we're done, we should be able to fold this piece over, and it should be as long as this is, so that we can go ahead and seam these three layers close together. And so you should work this for, I'm gonna just work this. I will put the amount of rows that you're supposed to do on the screen, and I'm gonna start this to being row 1, row 2, and row 3, and I'm gonna show you how to count them later. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna just re-begin, because we did rows 1 through 33. I don't want to keep counting like 35, 36 like that. I'm gonna start this off as being row 1 of the, you know, single crochet, cross single crochet, because I feel like that's doing too much if I do it like that. But if you see it from this angle, folding this over, that's what it looks like. So I'm going to just continue working this pattern until I have the amount of rows I need. When they reach this, they're going to reach over here. You know what I mean? I fold this over, it's going to be equal and even to this part of the pattern, to this side. I don't know how I would say that better. Maybe if you have suggestions. It's going to be symmetrical rectangle. It will match up. Okay, I'm gonna just continue this off screen because I don't know how long it's gonna take me, and I'm not gonna do this all on screen. That's crazy. No one wants to watch all that. So I will see you guys in the future, and it will be movie magic because I will just skip ahead, obviously. All right, cool. Continuing. Let me count the rows I did. So we have 1, 2, 3. Let me fix this. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 rows of the cross single crochet complete. And we did it back and forth. I'm kind of upset that there's this green part right there, but it's fine. It'll be okay. So what we do now is we look here. This is the inside of the wallet right here. Turn this a little. And then this is the front flap. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to fold this over like that. Take this stuff outside. So we're folding it over. I left a long tail because we're going to be sewing across this way and then up this seam right here because there's a pocket here as well. So these seams right here need to be sewn together. This is the last, stitch, and I'm just gonna chain one to tie off the row like that, and I'm gonna sew this closed. So we just grab a sewing needle, and I'm just gonna immediately do it because, yep. What else? So I'm taking these stitch markers out. And I'm going to make sure that this piece lines up with this piece. And we're just going to push them together. And then I'm going to sew through all three of these layers. Okay, that is the first step. We're going to sew these layers together. So I'm just going to do a little zoom in. So we're going to go into this top of this stitch, and just sew it. And I know a lot of people hate sewing. I'm one of those people, but it is what it is for this. You just gotta do it, I tried slip stitching and it just looks like a hot mess, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So we're just going through each layer, and yes, this back layer actually both of these layers should have 18 stitches, I believe, because this is 34 folded over, but this one is 18. So we're just going to go through the layers and try to get it as evenly as possible. Sandwich together. And this does give you a cleaner edge than if you were to slip stitch it anyway. Yeah, and I like how it came out. So we're just gonna sew across the top. So I just stitched all these together. I think I'm going to go back in and then just do like this number where I do a little knot, make a little knot there. That's extra. And then now I'm lining this up, and I'm just going to sew this layer together. And it's fine that the yarn's not matching up. It is what it is. We're just gonna go with the flow, man. The flow. Just going whip stitch into the layers. You want to grab a piece here that matches up, just grab it and sew it. There's not a trick, it's just I'm gonna grab into the side of this layer, try to do it as closely as possible so it's not all gappy, but you don't need to be perfect with it. It's gonna look pretty, it's gonna look nice. You just gotta like tighten, but not too tight, because then you're gonna pull everything. So, yep. Just going in and out. Don't be scared. Because like sewing is not fun. Sometimes for me, my favorite part is just the crocheting. And I could pay someone to sew, I would pay someone, but sorry, I'm complaining a lot. It's a blessing to even be able to sew. So let's just do it. Just do it. Do it. This is getting on my nerves, that strand right there. Alright, I mean, I'm gonna like speed this up through speeding up the camera, because I don't know if you want to watch me sew. The assembly is the like longest part, apparently. I don't know. I could talk, I guess. It's just, how's your day? See, we're just gonna ignore the fact that we could see some of these stitches, which it's fine. It doesn't matter that much. Ideally, you'll have the same colored yarn. I did a long striping yarn, so my stitches and my yarn at the end are different colors, obviously, as you can see. I decided to show you the pattern in this yarn because it's a little easier to see. Okay, so this is the last stitch on this side of things. We went around here and here. Now we're gonna sew this together. So basically, when I went into the front loops of my cross single crochet, I created this ridge so that we could sew this part together, and that was on purpose. So we're gonna sew this ridge closed using the foundation, we're just using the ridge on the back of these stitches and the ridge on the back of this chain. Well, it was technically a foundation chain because we did chain an amount. We chained 16 so that we could make up for that, front loop, back loop situation. But the chains are down here, so this is the top of that. I really don't remember what this was actually, because I know this is the beginning of the round. But yeah, we're just gonna sew into the top loops of these stitches to sew this part closed. Yep. And I think I should do 2 examples of the clasps, because we're gonna put these clasps on, but I think it would be smart to have a secondary option where you could do it with a button instead of one of those magnetic clasp things, because not everyone has those on hand. That cost me around $8, I believe, for 30. It's a set of 30. That cost me around like $8, I think. I'll leave a link for those in the description. I think I said that earlier. Don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think you'd understand. So this is the last stitch. Oops. Yes. Okay. So this is the last stitch. I'm going to knot this here. Sew the end in and all that good stuff. Like, sew the ends through here. Oops. Sewing is my forte. Do. And then voila, this tail needs to be sewn in. But what I'm trying to say is, okay, voila, it's done. This is the wallet. So you would ideally, we're gonna put some snaps here and here. So you put the snaps here and here. And then, you know, you could snap the wallet closed like that. So you gotta kind of pull this a little, because this tends to be a little shorter than the inside part, and I was not liking that. So that's just information. So you basically, you're closing it and you have your little wallets. Hi, so I had to do a voiceover for this part and I'm speeding it up. This is just me attaching the snaps to the wallet, and I tried to get it as even as possible in the center and as even as possible in the rows, so it's like centered. And I'm just doing this sped up time frame. And I guess if you were to do this with a buttonhole, I think I could just provide the instructions here. Yeah, so I actually added a eyelet to this and I kind of messed up this wallet, so I made a secondary one. I don't know if you see the eyelet right there, but yeah, I don't want to talk about that. We'll just ignore that that's there. I did put that there though, off screen. I hammered it into there. I got rust on the inside of the wallet. It was a situation, and I'm thinking I'm going to cut this video short and just go to the end part of this, because I basically sewed in both of these and I'm just going to show you what it looks like closed. Okay, thank you. Okay, so it snaps closed, and yeah, it's a wallet. So yeah, that's that eyelet I put on there. So you could put like a chain or something if you wanted. But yep, that's what this wallet looks like, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and it was tutorially helpful. All right there. Okay then, bye. Thank you for watching.